Thank you for listening to Depictions Media Radio. Welcome back, everyone. I'm here today with Chris Janelle and Karina Reed, and they are part of I believe it's called Come Together Richmond, and Karina or Chris will correct me on the actual name of it, but it is a human rights, they're human rights activists, and they're trying to get issues in Richmond and the lower mainland of BC, trying to get these issues out in front of people so that we can do something about them and get them corrected so that we all have a chance at equal rights and a say in our community. Is that right? Welcome, Chris and Karina.
So the group, I started the group back in March when the pandemic began, when I started realizing that the food banks were being closed in Richmond and there was only one central location. And then, so then I reached out to the food bank and I asked, what are they doing and how are people getting their food supply? And a lot of the Richmond Food Bank lost a lot of their volunteers because a lot of the volunteers were elderly and they were unable to be volunteer drivers anymore. So then I sort of came up with this idea of let's create a group of community supporters that can help fill this need. And so that group has formed, and we deliver to different clients throughout Richmond, about 40 different deliveries a week, and we've delivered over 400 food bank baskets to different clients. And the inquiries keep growing. Chris just completed his 100th delivery. So the group started in the foundation of, basically we are in this together. We move home. It's privileged to be at home. What can we do to help others in a time of crisis?
Right. So, because you both come from very different industries, to be doing human rights, right, and volunteering to make deliveries for a food bank. Do you know about how many people in Richmond actually use the food bank?
They use about 1,700 clients a week in Richmond at the Richmond Food Bank.
So that's quite a number of people in the community.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And how I got started with this was Karina reached out to me when she first started this Facebook group and asked if I'd like to help, as we've met over the years and we both have voices in the community here. Like you mentioned, different avenues of what we do for work, but we're able to. She asked me if I wanted to help out, and I said absolutely, because myself personally, when I was 19, when I first turned 19, I was a brand new father, and my girlfriend at the time had just had our first baby, and she was only 17 herself. So we moved out on our own, and we had to use the food bank at times because it was really tough to put food on the table when she wasn't working and I was working, a minimum wage full-time job. So when this came to my attention, I jumped on it right away and absolutely wanted to help out. And I used to have a trucking company years ago, so deliveries for me became very natural, and I wanted all of them. I wanted to do as much as I could. And Karina was nice enough to allow me to have a good little group of clients I can deliver to each and every week. And like I said, we've been doing this now for 4 months, and like Karina said, I just reached my 100th delivery, which I was really proud of. And those are 100 smiles that I get to snap and have in my memory bank here, and that I can always bring out and bring my spirit up, because it is quite amazing to see those lovely faces each and every week.
Yeah. So what does that feel like when you drop off the delivery? Because is it just food items, or is all kinds of different things that they might need to go through the food bank, right?
Well, yeah, it's just food items. But what we've done, on Mother's Day, we came up with a great idea where we. Karina here has a rock painting group here in Richmond called Steveson Rocks, which she's very proud of, and she stayed up to about, I think it was at 2 a.m. painting rocks for all these mothers. And my wife and my wife's also a realtor. We work together, and we went out and got a bunch of flowers, and we made these nice little kind of bouquets for all the moms, and we put those in there on Mother's Day, and we got some really great feedback. The following week, when I showed up, they were all very thankful and made their day, right? So whatever we can do to add value to what we're doing, we try to do that as much as possible. Yeah.
So on Mother's Day, you must have got some brighter smiles, because hey, it was more of a package than just the food, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So.
And the great thing is, a lot of our volunteer drivers have also established relationships with the clients that they're delivering to. And so that's incredible to see that connection and that rapport building. And again, it helps to break away from the stigma that might be still attached to accessing the food bank, because then you have a person and you understand a connection with that other person. So I think it's been a huge strength builder in our community. And then to just realize that, like, the most important thing to take away is, like, one person can make a difference, and now we're a collective group. Ainsley is also one of our admin in our group, and she's a social worker. So the three of us have kind of been like, the life force of creating the group. And then, now the group, it's people might post something that they need, and then, the community comes together like, okay, well, this person it's quarantined in their house, and maybe they need access to toilet paper or whatever it might be, and people come together and help fill the need.
So, what was the since we're on items, what was the most needy item that somebody, because they got quarantined or told to self-isolate, that they just couldn't get out, and something we wouldn't think would be that urgent, but may have turned out to be urgent?
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
Yeah. Well, there was none on the shelves, right? It was people were going crazy and taking, stealing all the toilet paper and, hoarding it. And I remember there was one day, Karina reached out to me and said, one of the people I was going to drop off had no toilet paper. Could I stop and get some? And found some, and I was able to leave it in their bucket for them.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that there was some scare over the fact that there wasn't going to be any toilet paper because of the pandemic, and even like Costco shelves emptied out, right? So,
right.
So, you guys work closely with the food bank, and you're really looking after the community needs. What are some of the other needs that may go outside of? Is there any other needs that go outside of the delivery system that you might guys have to stand up for?
Wow, that list is long. I mean, you can go anything from, oh my goodness, to paid sick days, to affordable childcare, affordable housing. I mean, the list of things are huge, and I think the benefit of the pandemic, it has really heightened the social injustices that are ingrained in our society. And so hopefully we don't go back to where we were, and that we move through this and become a better society, and start looking at the systems of oppression and the systems of injustice. For our group, we are very grassroots, and so collectively we talk together. If we know maybe someone in our group delivers, maybe they have kids, and so when the first went into lockdown, we were like, okay, well, maybe we can start delivering art supplies to the kids that we're dropping off. And so you start thinking, like, if you're able to help on a different level, well, like, what does that look like? And I think it's so important to, like, remove yourself from your situation. Like, yes, we have a pet, or I can put them on the table for my family, but what about my neighbor next door? And how do I reach out to them and just ask the question,
questions for as we're and even drug overdoses are on the rise.
Yeah.
It's extraordinary what's happening, and I think if we can, as a community, come together, no pun intended, and ask these questions, because it happens to everybody, and being more aware and trying to help each other out. And that's one thing I've really gotten out of all this, is seeing our amazing community come together.
Right.
Just great, and the people, it's touching. I'm grateful that Karina gave me the opportunity to be a part of this, and I look forward to continuing this on for many years. It's something that I think we're not going to stop doing, and we're going to continue doing this, and it's just been great.
Yeah, I've seen a real shift in our community. I've never been more proud to be a Richmondite. I mean, just 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, there was 3 different protests going on in Richmond, and that's a really beautiful thing, that we're not waiting for a Vancouver protest to happen. Richmondites are taking it to the streets themselves, about protesting about certain injustices that are happening.
Yeah. Do you think it's important for each of our cities to just go out there and march and make a presence, rather than waiting for like one city to so we can do it centrally? You think that's more important?
Yeah,
I think I think so. Each community is its own community, and it's why can't we don't have to wait for the big city of Vancouver to always do something. We and that's one thing I think is coming out of this, is the community is coming together. There's certain people in the community that are reaching out and speaking up on all the different platforms that we have, either it be Instagram, Facebook, or however, certain community Facebook groups. I think it's more easier than ever now to get the message out. We do have these amazing platforms that can be used to so much good, and it seems like people are getting on board and doing that these days.
Yeah, actually, from my point of view, I think it's amazing to see that each and every community is trying to do something, rather than just, hey, don't get me wrong, the VAG is a nice place to gather and to set a microphone up and say, hey, we need to move forward with something, but if we can do something, say at Richmond City Hall or Surrey City Hall, we should be doing it, right? So,
yeah, absolutely.
So, I guess the next question would be, of course, you guys are doing this regardless of everybody's welcome to join in and help out, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
we get volunteers, I would say, weekly, asking how can they help. Sometimes I'm a bit overwhelmed with the amount of inquiries I'm getting for every week. We're new emails about people wanting to help.
Mm-hmm. What's it like coordinating all these things? Because you guys are the 2 leaders, right?
Yeah. Well, the coordination. Ainsley had taken over sort of in the beginning, and I was sort of managing the social media aspect, and now I'm managing the coordination. And yes, sometimes if I'm not on it, and I might miss that someone has just wrote me a note saying, hey, they have to switch the delivery for this day, and then I have to coordinate it back to the food bank. or like an order change has changed and I coordinate. But the relationship that we have with the food bank has been fantastic. They have been so instrumental in helping us streamline our process. And it's great because, I have a relationship with people that are at the food bank, and Chris does, and Ainsley, and we all do now on a different level. And so, it doesn't take too much of my time, but it's just, to me, it's just what I need to be doing. It's extremely fulfilling to know that we're a grassroots group helping people in our community.
Very cool. Okay, so we're running out of time because I know, Chris, you have your own business, or your own real estate business to run here, and I know you got to get back to clients. So let's start with you, Chris. What would be the ultimate thing that you want to see Richmond look like as a community as far as human rights is concerned?
Well, like the group is called, coming together. Coming together wherever we can to help all of us become, better citizens, better people, and just a friendlier atmosphere here. There's been there's a lot of negativity going on in the world these days, and I think if we can continue to put smiles on each other's faces and help each other and push each other to be better people, I think that at the end of the day is what I would love to see.
Okay. And Karina, same question.
I would say the same, and I would say don't underestimate the power of one. And if you see something that is happening in your neighborhood and you want to see a change, write a letter. I am really a huge advocate for writing letters. Amnesty International started their whole movement on writing letters. The power of your voice is so incredible. And if you take the time to write a letter, change can happen. I have personally seen it happen in some letter writing I have done. And so I think everyone should just, look at that and think, hey, if that's really upsetting you, or if you're seeing an injustice, write a letter to the city, write a letter to the school board, write a letter to anyone that'll listen, and then tell 5 friends. So, I would just say, keep making our voices heard.
Wow. Absolutely. I agree with you 100% on doing whatever you can to get your voice heard, and I think you both and your whole entire group are going to make Richmond a really much better place to live, and I'd look to see what wonderful changes happen in your town.
Awesome.
Well, I'm only kind of just across the river from you. So yeah, it sounds like you're doing some really cool stuff there. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chris and Karina. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Have a great day, Michael.
Okay.
Thank you, Michael.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening to us today. Please find and click on the subscribe button so you can get continued updates from us.
So
This show has been produced by Depictions Media. Please contact us at depictions.media for more information.